I talked about these people not that long ago, but do you remember Eli and Kaitlyn Regalado? This is a pastor and his wife, and they were in big trouble because they had been selling crypto to their followers. And there is an update on this story, which I will give you, but basically, without running through everything, they run a online only church. It's called Victorious Grace Church. And then they figured out a more lucrative grift, I should say, which is selling crypto. And what they did at the time, this is a press release from the Colorado Securities Commission, and this is from January of 2024. But check this out. The government complaint alleges that Eli Regalado targeted Christian communities in Denver and claimed that God told him directly that investors would become wealthy if they put their money into index coin. The Regalados had no experience in cryptocurrency, which was clear when a third-party auditor's report allegedly described their index coin code as unsafe, unsecure, and riddled with serious technical problems. Despite that report, the Regalados allegedly continued to promote the index coin as a low-risk, high-profit investment. The complaint alleges that in reality, the index coin was illiquid and practically worthless. Investors lost millions, and defendants dissipated investor funds to support their lavish lifestyle. We allege Mr. Regalado took advantage of the trust and faith of his own Christian community and that he peddled outlandish promises of wealth to them when he sold them essentially worthless cryptocurrencies. So that is what the government was accusing them of back in the day. My favorite aspect of that whole story is what they said in their lawsuit. Specifically, this is from the Denver Post. Tung Chan, the state's securities commissioner, wrote in the lawsuit that the Regalados sold $3.4 million in valueless index coins in 2022 and 2023. And this office claims that at least 1.3 million of that went directly to the Regalados, who spent it on a Range Rover, jewelry, luxury handbags, cosmetic dentistry, boat rentals, and in snowmobile adventures, home renovations, and an au pair. So these people are just rolling in the dough that they have stolen from their people. And they used God when they were promoting all of this stuff, as I talked about in the previous video. I wanted to show you one more thing, which is they issued a white paper. Like, if you want paperwork on how good our crypto is, here's a technical document that tells you all that. And this is one of the things they had in it. And they said, if you buy our crypto, if you bought it in 2019, it would have been worth 46 cents. Today, it's worth $9.98. But guess what? In 2028, we suspect it'll be worth $86.44. Predicted. They totally pulled those numbers out of their ass. And this is how they got people to give them money, by just telling them it's going to be worth so much more in like a few years. So give us all your money now. The other thing I liked about their whole white paper, as I will show you right here, they had a whole section on their operations team. I know I said this in a previous video, but it's too funny, so I'm showing it to you anyway. And if you go down the list of who works on their team, oh, look at Oscar. They just have a dude named Oscar. He goes by one name. It's a pseudonym because he wishes to stay anonymous. Who else is working on their team? Jose. Also one name. Also anonymous. And then they have their prophetic team. What does this have to do with crypto? I don't know. But I like this person, whoever she is, Amanda Earhart. What's her experience with crypto? Let's see. She's a singer-songwriter, entrepreneur, which probably means she has like a TikTok. She has 24 years of experience writing, performing, and developing talent. She serves as a prophetic voice for Index Coin's spiritual intelligence team. None of that means anything. But this is what they were sending people so they would invest money in their scam. It was wild. So anyway, this thing happened for a while. This lawsuit comes from the state of Colorado, and Eli makes a video, which I showed the last time I talked about this. I will leave a link down below if you're watching this clip later. But he made a video response where he's like, you guys, you're seeing all this news about us right now, and it probably doesn't look good. But he said, people are calling our index coin worthless because investors can't cash out right now. So, yeah, technically that is true. What about the claim that he pocketed $1.3 million to buy all those luxuries for himself and his wife? He said that's also true. However, he said, and I'm quoting here, $500,000 went to the IRS and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do, unquote. So, stop being mad at him. By the way, $500,000 plus a few $100,000. If you do the math, that still leaves $500,000 that he did not account for right there. He also put $290,000 in the bank account for his online only church. What the hell does your online only church need for $290,000? A webcam? I don't get it. And my favorite part about that video, he said this, and I'm also quoting again. Lord, I don't want to do this. He said he talked to God and said this. Lord, I don't want to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't have any experience in this industry. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to be caught up in something. And then he did it anyway. So where are we at with this? They sued him. This went on for a while. I talked about this in the last video. My favorite thing about this is last year, he made a video by a fancy pool, which is not a good look for him right now. But he made a video basically saying, I haven't done anything wrong. And then he said of the securities commissioner who was suing him, you are a liar, liar, liar. I hope you get back in the office after your holiday and you see this and you see what you've done. Shame on you. You're a crook. And then 2 days later, he made another video where he's like, I'm totally sorry about that video. Don't listen to that. Okay, so where are we going with this? That is your recap. But now I have a story for you here. Check out this headline from the Denver Post. If I can find it. There it is. Denver pastor barred from selling crypto, ordered to pay back $3.4 million. And look at this right here. The judge wrote last Friday that basically what the judge said last week is that the couple is banned from selling crypto or anything like digital for the next 20 years, and they have to pay back the $3.4 million. So back to this article. She wrote, the defendants' lack of understanding of the harm they have caused to their investors, coupled with their admitted desire to continue and expand the index coin scheme, leads the court to conclude that a ban on selling is appropriate. And she went on to say, on behalf of all this is what Eli said, quoting from the Bible, because he was reached for comment after this decision. On behalf of all index coin holders, our Heavenly Father, in whom we serve, will deliver us. I don't know. That's a weird way to say, sorry, I screwed up. I don't care what your God's going to do. What else did he say? He's quoting from the Bible. Now, when Daniel knew that the document was signed, he entered his house and he continued kneeling on his knees 3 times a day, praying and giving thanks before his God as he had been doing previously. I don't know what that's about. Who cares? Who cares? What else did the judge say? The defendant's assertions of the value of index coin were misleading at all points of the offering. They lied throughout. Merely ascribing an algorithmic value to a coin does not make it worth that. The coin was never going to be worth what the algorithm stated. Rather than coming clean, defendants then made multiple posts and communications to their investors, assuring them that the exchange would come back online and that each investor would be able to sell their coin. Defendants knew this was not true. They knew it, they lied about it, and they used Jesus to cover their tracks. I want to show you one last thing here. Oh, before I get to the last thing, this is what the Securities Commission said about all this. Um, this is dated September 16th, so this just happened. But look at what the commissioner said. The Regalados are 21st century false prophets who leverage the new and promising technology of cryptocurrencies to run an old-fashioned scam, victimizing their own congregants and others. I love this person. I'm just looking through if there's anything else. Uh, when crypto frauds are hitting home, that's where we are. The court's holding is a win for Colorado investors, for justice and fair play, and for every legitimate cryptocurrency project out there. We are proud to be a part of this work. Are there legitimate crypto products out there? Anyway, not the point. I want to show you one last thing here, which is from the judge's decision, because in her thing, she cited the fact that Eli Regalado talked a lot about religion, and this is in her decision. Throughout the proceedings, Mr. Regalado offered this quote: "I will put the key of David on his shoulder. What he opens, no one will shut." This is apparently a passage saying why he's going to keep fighting. Mr. Regalado related this quote to overcoming challenges. Well, the quote seems apt, but for different reasons. Here, the Regalados used index coin to open up a revenue stream and then closed that revenue to others when they closed Kingdom Wealth Exchange, leaving hundreds of people without a door to retrieve their investment. So you got to appreciate a judge who takes his Bible quote and just turns it right back around on him. So good. So that's the good news. That means hopefully the investors will get back the money they were scammed out of. And it means this couple will not be allowed to sell crypto. Now, I know what you're thinking. They deserve a bigger punishment than that. Like, oh no, they got to give up their au pair. Who cares? What about jail? Well, guess what? There is a separate grand jury case. There's a separate criminal investigation against this couple as well. I talked about this in a previous video, and a grand jury heard this case and already charged them with like 40 felony charges. And we're still waiting for a judge to weigh in on that. And that's a separate thing. This was the civil trial. There's a separate criminal trial, and we don't know how much jail time they could face when that's all said and done. So we're not done with the story yet, but it's kind of nice to see Christian grifters actually get punished for doing something evil. How's that? Some good news. All right, what other questions we got here? I wonder how their fellow church members feel about them now. I'm sure they don't care because they can't see them because it's an online church and they're all amorphous blobs. Just like you all are to me. And I love all of you. Nearly every crypto seems to be a scam. Way back in the day, I bought some crypto. It's not a lot. And then I just assumed it would go away, like I was at a blackjack table or something. And then Bitcoin went wild. And I feel like I'm at the point now where I'm like, I would like to just take it out, but also I have no idea how to get the money out of there anymore. I mean, that would be a sad story if I bought it back in like 2008. But I feel really, really bad for the people these creeps scammed. We really need to do some kind of public education campaign to explain scams to people. Yeah, but then how would Republicans get elected?